Hi guys, Grace Alana here, Grace the Astrologer. Today, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be about the Neptune and Aries transit. So, yesterday on March 30th, Neptune moved into Aries where it will stay for the next 14 years. Now, this transit is not going to be complete right away because Neptune is going to retrograde back into Pisces this year, and it'll permanently stay in Aries from next year to 2038. But nonetheless, Neptune is officially in Aries, so we're going to get the first taste of it. Now, from March 30th until October 22nd, Neptune will be in Aries. From October 22nd until January 26th of next year, it's going to be in Pisces because it's going to be retrograde. But again, it's going to move back into Aries on January 26th, 2026, and it will stay there until May 21st of 2038. Now, this transit is so important because this is a once in a lifetime transit. Like when the outer planets change signs, when Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto change signs, it's really important because those planets have orbits for so long that depending on how long you live your life, you might not see Uranus transit every sign. It takes Uranus 84 years to transit the zodiac, and then Neptune, it takes 165 years to transit the zodiac. So it does not matter how long you live your life, you will never see Neptune in every single sign. And then Pluto stays in a sign for anywhere between 12 to 30 years. It takes Pluto 248 years to transit the zodiac. So yeah, you're not even going to see Pluto be in half of the signs in your lifetime. So anytime Neptune, Pluto, Uranus changes signs, it's really important. And Neptune, the last time Neptune was in Aries was from 1861 to 1875. So just think about that. We're literally living in unprecedented times, especially when we're thinking about Pluto in Aquarius and Neptune being in Aries. Like, these are transits, again, that we have never seen before. Now, in general, what can you expect from Neptune being in Aries? Now, you can find yourself being more active and assertive with your spiritual energy. Neptune is a planet that's associated, and let me backtrack a little bit. I forgot to break down what Neptune even means. Neptune is my least favorite planet. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like a lot of the things that Neptune is associated with can definitely be contributed to other planets, but whatever. It still has its purpose. But Neptune is associated with spirituality. It's associated with compassion, mysticism, healing. Because Neptune is associated with your imagination and your subconscious mind, you get creativity, you get your imagination, you get fun thoughts, you get fashion, excitement, creativity, beauty, art, all of those things. Neptune is the planet that represents confusion. Neptune is confusion, illusion, delusion, fantasies. Neptune is blurred boundaries or a lack of boundaries. Neptune is a cloud. Neptune makes everything confusing. So even with this transit, we have to really be careful. But all in all, like I said, my first bullet point, you can find yourself being more active and assertive with your spiritual energy. There's going to be a rise in spiritual activism, heroism. I always forget how to say that word. And people will definitely be pursuing enlightenment. When I made a post about Neptune moving into Aries yesterday on TikTok, somebody was in the comments and they were like, I really see this as a push and people pursuing their goals and going after the things that they want and truly desire. And I think that that's so true, because even thinking about Aries is the sign of self. Aries is me. It's about what I want to do, how I'm going to do it. Aries energy is all about taking risks, being bold, being assertive, not being afraid to be bold or be confident or to try something new. Because even again, thinking about Aries being the first sign of the zodiac, Aries is all about new, fresh, innovative energy. And we can definitely get a lot of that. And that leads me to my next bullet point. Aries is the sign of self. It's the sign of the ego, and your own personal identity even as well too. And Neptune dissolves whatever it touches. So this can definitely bring out identity crises, ego deaths, and confusion around self-image. And I think that that's going to be so interesting as we continue to see like all, the AI stuff, the technology, the social media, even thinking about, like, I remember a couple weeks ago, I think they took the filters off of Instagram or they brought them back, or just things like that. Like even the BBLs, the surgery, the cosmetic things, technology and all of that. Like, I can see there being a lot of like blurred boundaries between people and their reality and what they think they look like or what they have going on. Like, I don't know. That self-image stuff kind of makes me nervous. Also, expect a rise in new spiritual leaders or charismatic visionaries emerging, but don't trust these fucking people. A lot of these people are going to be delusional. A lot of these people are going to be deceptive. Expect cult-like movements and even maybe the potential for violent tendencies. I'm not gonna lie. Because again, spirituality, Neptune is a planet that's associated with spirituality, and Aries is war, Aries is combat, Aries is violence. And I can see a lot of people even, going after the things that they want, going after the things that they think, and starting problems and causing conflict and chaos, and it really not even be what it's supposed to be or what they think it is. And that leads me to my next point. Aries is combat, it's war, it's aggression. And Neptune being Aries can make people even romanticize and idealize violence, making revolutions or conflicts feel noble or feel like it's what they're supposed to be doing, even when they're built on BS. So even when you think about the rise of the leaders, the rise of these people doing things and taking action, and people are just going to be like, it's literally giving blind, leading the blind energy. I said that in my TikTok video, and I think that's so true. Like, a lot of people are just going to be taking shit and running with it. And I don't know how to feel about that. So what does this mean? Spiritually, there's going to be a shift from passive spirituality, less faith, less surrender, less, being passive, less waiting for things to happen. And people are going to be taking action and things like that into their own hands. A lot more manifesting, a lot more self-initiation into spiritual pursuits, a lot of spiritual warriors. And again, a lot of people turning up and revolting and causing violence and chaos for the things that they believe in. People are going to be doing the most. And even we don't need no more cults, especially in America. This is not the time for this. We don't need cults. We don't need people acting crazy. So it really just kind of makes me so nervous. Even with personal identity and individualism, Neptune can definitely dissolve that Aries me first energy. Again, like I said, leading to confusion around self-worth, personal goals, values, and leadership as well too. People are going to feel lost. People are going to feel aimless. People are going to be overly idealistic about their individuality. And even with that is what I think is going to get these people to fall victim to these leaders, to end up in these cults, to become victims of, because if you don't have your own sense of identity, if you're confused, that's the time where people can be manipulated. That's the time where these cults and these movements and things like that can arise. So just be careful. Use your fucking discernment. I swear to God, use your discernment. But on the bright side, with creativity and imagination, I can definitely see artists, visionaries, and leaders feeling inspired to push boundaries, to create revolutionary work, to channel their dreams into action. And a lot of people can, chase illusions, not necessarily believing in reality, but believing in grand, but impractical ideas. And even when you think about how we have this trend of minimalism and things that are boring and everybody trying to be the same, I think that is going to be one benefit of Neptune and Pisces. It's going to cause people to trailblaze and to be different and to set trends and to step outside of their comfort zone and take risks, because Aries again is Mars is action and energy and drive and motivation, and Mars is literally taking a risk, stepping out on a limb. And I think the Aries energy is going to bring a bunch of fun, bold, exciting things when it comes to fashion, when it comes to art, when it comes to technology and things like that. So I'm definitely so excited for that, because shit has gotten real boring, shit has gotten real monotone, real monochromatic, and everybody's doing the same thing and looking the same thing. And I definitely think that Neptune and Aries is going to switch that up for sure. With conflict, Neptune blurs reality and Aries is aggressive. So this can definitely, again, idealize and romanticize war, rebellion, and fighting for your beliefs and what you believe in. But again, deception is likely, false operations, illusionary enemies, misinformation, people turning up and going after shit that they don't even know to be true, or things that are not even necessarily accurate, but you turning up and you and going off because this man or this leader. And even when you think about America and what's going on right now, whatever. And money wise, we're definitely going to see a rise in entrepreneurs who are going to mix spirituality, self-identity, and activism into their business models. But again, there's a greater risk of deceptive leadership, over-promising, and reckless idealism in financial ventures. So just be careful with what you're doing with your coin and with your purse. So all in all, the best ways to navigate this transit: balance action with discernment. Yes, take risks. Yes, be bold. Yes, go after things. Yes, join the movements and uprise and have fun, but you have to be mindful of what you're doing, what you're supporting. Use discernment. Pay attention to things. Screen these people that you are following and supporting, because Neptune is going to have Neptune is confusion, period. Like, Neptune in Aries is going to bring such confusing energy. If you are taking risks and going after things, ground that with something. Neptune is your dreams. Neptune can be what you're thinking about, and Mars is desire and action. So ground it in reality. Be pragmatic. Be proactive. You can't plan and think about things if there's not going to be any action behind it. Protect your identity. Protect your energy. Period. Don't fall victim to the people, the scammers, the finessers. It's going to be a lot of that coming out. Use this energy to fight for a cause. But again, fight for something that you believe in. But make sure that you know that this is truly what you believe in. Don't go supporting empty causes or going out on tangents when it's not what you think it is, or the person or the cause or whatever it is not actually realistic or pragmatic or productive. And yeah, just watch out for false prophets and deception, all in all. Now, we're going to take a little commercial break while I pull up my notes for the next segment. If you've been here for this long, you must like me. You must like the way I talk. Please follow me on other platforms. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Of course, you're already here. Just go click that button, like this, share this, whatever you got to do. Also, tap into my Patreon for paid members. For free, you can get access to transits and forecasts. Like, pretty much everything I just read or talked about was typed up on my forecast that I give out every month for my Patreon subscribers. And if you become a paid member, for $15 a month, you get access to horoscopes, extended forecasts, and you get one reading a month that I can answer with your chart or a card pull. So I definitely recommend tapping into that. Now, and then also, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. I'm on any platform or social media that you could think of, Moon World Mommy. And, if you want a reading, if you're interested in astrology and you want to know how this can apply to your life and you want a reading from me, I can answer any questions that you have about yourself or your birth chart. moonworldmommy.com to book. Now, the second part of this video is going to be breaking down, just common themes from Neptune and Aries. So like I said, the last time Neptune was in Aries was from 1861 to 1875. And this is a transit that repeats itself every 165 years. So I wanted to break down some of the things that have happened previously so we can kind of get an idea of what to expect in the next 14 years or so. So just in general, common themes that I have found from these Neptune and Aries transits, going back and looking at history: religious and spiritual rebellions or major reforms when it comes to religious and spiritual things. And that kind of makes me nervous, because with Neptune in Pisces, its own sign, there was a rise in, esoteric things, spiritual things. Astrology blew up, tarot blew up, all of those things, and it became popular. But with all of these false prophets and false leaders, I can really see a lot of this shit going bad. Especially with, even when you think about the stuff that happened around this time last year with the mystic lipstick lady and a bunch of these people having spiritual psychosis, and people using spirituality and divinatory practices and even religion and other things to do bad things or to serve their own missions and things and agendas and whatnot. I can see people in society and things like that trying to crack down on them. And even I'm listening to the Chris Brennan podcast right now. Not the Chris Brennan, the astrology podcast by Chris Brennan. And it's an episode talking about Saturn, Neptune conjunctions in history. And they go back, the transit happens, I think, every 35, every 36, something around there, every 36 years or so, around that time frame. But the satanic panic happened the last time that we had a Neptune Saturn conjunction, and the conjunction is very tight this year, and then it's going to go exact next year. So I could definitely see, and I've even just been thinking about that. A lot of people, even being an astrologer and into, tarot and witchcraft and all that stuff, people always, the Christians, the spiritual, the religious people are always trying to demonize me and tell me what I'm doing is wrong and I'm going to go to hell. We're going to see so much of that, especially because people don't always use spirituality and divinatory practices for the right reasons. And I definitely think that we're going to see some backlash for that. Wars and conflicts with a bunch of ideological or moral justifications. Do I need to go further? Like, look at what's happening in America. Literally, look what is happening in America right now. People are going to be pushing their own agendas. Oh, this is what we should be doing. This is what we shouldn't be doing. And yeah, just look at the state of the world. Look at Israel. Look at Palestine. Like, just I don't want to say too much. I'm still new to YouTube. Expansion and conquest wrapped in idealism. So people are going to be colonizing the fuck out of things. And even again, when you think about the trends that we're seeing now of like the trad wife and them making fashion all boring, and look at like what they did to Pretty Little Thing, like making everything so monotone, making it chromatic, making things boring, and basically colonizing everything. Like and again, like it's larger than just fashion, but that's like a quick little example that we can see in real time, and we can see how those things are translating in big things, but also small things like our fashion choices and our clothes and things like that. But people are definitely going to be conquering and taking over things. Even again, thinking about like Amazon, the rise of all these monopolies. I definitely think we're going to see a lot more of that, and people in charge capitalizing and monopolizing things, like, period. Mysticism, visions, prophecies, especially in chaotic times when shit gets crazy, people are going to be seeking answers and looking for things when, you know, we're not getting the answers. So I'm about to mix up these herbs. I'm about to go get these roots. I'm about to start doing magic and spells. I'm about to light these candles, get this incense. I'm about to get going, get these crystals. Because again, like I said, when the world is chaotic, when people need answers, when stuff is not sure, and you know, what the fuck you gonna do? You got to take matters into your own hands. So we're definitely, absolutely going to see a rise in that. On the positive side, definitely new beginnings in thought, science, politics. Even again with AI, technology is the way, in the way that things have been progressing worldwide too. I definitely think that we're going to see a lot about that. And also a lot of these illusions about war and heroes and things like that. Like, in the midst of all these uprising and wars and things like that, that I know is going to come with this transit, I know that on the opposite end, people are going to see a lot of this stuff for what it is. A lot of people are not just going to be so receptive. A lot of people are, yeah, like I said earlier, the blind leading of the blind. A lot of people are just going to go for shit just because. It's also going to be a lot of people who ain't going, who are not going to fuck with that, who are not going to be cool with it. And I'm one of them people. So, you know, and that's just with everything in life. There's always spectrums. There are always going to be, you know, people on one side, people on the other side. So definitely think that's interesting. And yeah, like I said, the last time Neptune was in Aries was from 1861 to 1875. And in general, what happened? The American Civil War. The American Civil War broke out the same exact year that Neptune entered Aries. So there's that. We have the rise of nationalism. And it's so crazy. Like, a lot of these transits are scary. Neptune in Aries, Pluto in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini. Like, a lot of these same transits took place during World War I, World War II, the Civil War, and all of that. Like, I think war is inevitable. And I'm not saying that to scare y'all, but like, we got to think about these things. And even thinking about nationalism, how Trump and America is trying to get rid of all the immigrants. And it's so funny because in Jupiter in Cancer, Jupiter will be in Cancer from June of this year to June of next year. And I already started working on my predictions and things like that. And I'm actually going to record that video soon. But one of the things that I predicted was that it was going to be, well, not predicted, but you know, astrology is nothing but pattern recognition and looking to see what happened the last time that these transits will happen, because you can see like, okay, the stuff that happened during this time happened that time before, and it's going to happen this time now. So yeah, you can see patterns and things like that repeat itself. And like I said, I'm not saying that to scare y'all or anything like that, but with Jupiter in Cancer, I definitely said that there's going to be a rise of nationalism. And even with Neptune in Aries, you know, Italy had the unification. Italy became a solid unit. Germany became a solid unit during that transit. Again, we had the American Civil War. Slavery did end, but there was a whole bunch of conflict and tension. We had the American Proclamation. There were a bunch of wars. There was a bunch of, you know, expansion and colonialism. Manifest Destiny was going on at this time in the United States. There was the rise of the British and European colonial expansion. And even again, thinking about like spirituality, like mysticism, I'm trying to think, what was that stuff called? Oh yeah, spiritualism. People, you know, connecting with the dead, people connecting with spirits and all of that really was big during this time. So I definitely think we're going to continue to see peaks and rises and things like that. And yeah, even when I go back, like Neptune was in Aries from 1697 to 1710. There were wars. There was the rise of Enlightenment thinking. There was a bunch of colonial expansion. There was increased interest in mysticism and alchemy. Neptune was in Aries from 1533 to 1547. There was a rise of Protestantism across Europe. The colonial conquest, that's when they really started colonizing shit. The seeds of the scientific revolution were planted at that time. So yeah, there's just, you know, like a bunch of history repeats itself all in all. You know, you can do your own research, and I would love if anybody knows anything else that happened during Neptune and Aries in the past that I did not mention myself. But yeah, this is a pretty big transit. Lots of things that we are going to have to deal with as it becomes of that. But yeah, if you want to know how this will affect you personally, like I said, subscribe to my Patreon, where I will be uploading horoscopes for Neptune and Aries for each rising sign. If you want a reading, like I said, I can tell you exactly how this transit is going to translate for you and show up in your personal life. But yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know what y'all think. I really appreciate y'all. I really love y'all. Everybody who subscribes to my channel, everybody who watches my videos. Again, I'm new here. I've only been active on YouTube for less than a month, so I appreciate all the patience and all the grace that y'all are giving me. I love y'all so much, and until next time.